Yeah, buddy, we're gonna get dirty tonight. But first, before we dig into some real dirty stuff, check it out. Pretty happy with having this project done. Floor patches all in, all pretty, seam sealed up. Now we get to do some psst, 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 psst. So you can't even notice that happen. But while we were doing that other work, I was digging around under the car and I noticed one pretty bad rust spot down here that we're gonna have to fix. Let's climb under the car and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see how much crap fell out of this as I was cleaning, and yeah, that's it. That's what we're dealing with right there. She's a beaut, huh, Clark? I was poking at it with a screwdriver, and then I just came down here. I was grinding some other stuff, so I hit it with my grinder, and that's what we ended up with. You can see we've got a little bit of rust up on the side there and in the bottom, and that's what we're looking at there is the kind of the subframe rail for the rear of the car. It's solid everywhere, but right there in that corner where there was a bunch of I guess mud and stuff that settled in there, and so that's what we got to clean up. Here is how I plan to fix it. All right, so I just so happen to have this chunk of metal sitting over there, not my scrap stuff. I was going to make some wheel perches out of it for my other car. And I think I still have enough material to do that with, but what we're going to do is hope this is going to work. I think it's the right width. It's not like rounded like that other stuff is, but it's the right width. So we're going to make this work. We're going to cut a little radius in there and do some flexing and whatnot, and then we're going to make that car all better. Now, luckily, this side of that subframe rail is good on that car. Just the other side's the one that's all hammered out. So, I guess it's about time for me to go get rust and 30-year-old mud in my hair and eyes and clean that all out, blow it out, and while I'm down there, make a little pattern so we know what we're working with. All right, we made a little pattern, kind of. It makes sense to me. It'll make sense to you later. The frame rail down under the car is like 2 inches and then flares out to 2 1/4 in the front. This is 51 millimeters. There we go. Just over, so this is like 2 inch, which I think will work out because I can I'll be able to kind of bend it out a little bit at the front to make it match up. This is what we have, so this is what we're going to make work, put it that way. Now I've just got to go create this curve. We basically need from about here to here to there, and then just up a little ways on each side, and something that makes that curve. So I'm going to try to do some cutting and marking with this, and then I'll bring you back in here when I have something that looks like it makes sense, and when I get down under the car there and do some trimming and on that frame rail to make it fit. Metal replacement is going to be the name of the game here on this car. Okay, well, this is how far life has brought us so far tonight. I have my pie cuts out of each side, and we're just going to lay this over. Now, if my mom's watching, I know, I get it. Thank you. I should have thought about the fact that it's now laying over a radius and it's not going to go all the way down. So I might have to use a little bit of this scrap to fill in the end because it's going to come up short. We'll see. We'll see. I might have had enough extra on there that I can recover from that. But anyway, ground it down so I have some clean metal weld on. I put a nice gouge in there and groove and beveled it. So now I just have to do some real fine finesse taps with a hammer, bring this down, and then go ahead and use the old Happy Hobart welder and stitch this thing up, tack it into place. My mom was my junior high math teacher, taught me a bunch of geometry, and that's where my mom, yes, now the joke comes in. It's not a joke. I know, Mom, it's serious. Turn the gas on, turn the gas on. Alrighty, now we have a piece of metal that, if you use your imagination, looks like that little piece of Camaro subframe down there that, you know, we made a little pattern out of. It's hot. Yep, it's hot. Anyway, I think that's gonna get us there. Now my next step is to just kind of figure out how much of this I need. So I'm gonna have to come up and then I'm gonna have to cut out a section of it about like that, and then that's all it's going to go in there is like a little cap. I guess I don't have to cut it too thin. I can go and, you know, don't need to sell myself short. And yes, I did on the end here, I did have to marry a little piece on there because, of course, all you geometrists saw it coming when I laid this down. It came up about, you know, an inch short or so. So I got another piece in there. Anyway, it's all good. Don't worry about that. I'm going to cut out a piece probably about the size of what's ground off here. It doesn't need to be round, I guess. I can just make a straight line, chop it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll come back, you'll see what I got. We're gonna have a section of this that looks pretty good, and then we'll go lay it up underneath the car. Lay it up underneath the car, mark it up, mark that up, cut that out, weld this in. Giddy up. All right, so all that effort was to make this, our own little piece of Camaro rear subframe. Hopefully you can kind of get a picture there of what it's going to look like up in there. I will say that the subframe where it meets in the back kind of has a little bit of a U shape to it. It's rounded in the back and then it's flat in the front. It's also a little wider in the front than this piece is here, so I might have to split this or split a side or something and kind of peel it open a little bit. And then we could stitch it up with welds or whatever to get it to line up so it'll be nice and flush on the sides when we put it in the car. Anyway, that'll all make sense in a little while, but first I'm gonna have to do probably gonna have to do a little delicate tapping with a hammer right there to make this kind of a little bit of a U shape. And then we'll lay into the car and we'll try to mark this all out and then lay into there and get more metal shavings in our hair as we cut it out of the car. Here is the section that we want to get rid of. Right here, and you can see where, you know, I ground it out before, and you can see how tight of space I'm dealing with to cut it out, but I do have it all marked up there. It's kind of hard to tell, but I've got it marked up with my Sharpie there so that we can get this piece in. You know, you get a piece in there like that, but my next trick is going to be figuring out how to get in there and cut that all out of there without having to take the leaf spring out. So I'm gonna lay under here with my angle grinder and scratch my head and go to town here for a while and hopefully make room for a patch piece to go in. All right, back under the car here. I've got our section all cleaned out. Sorry, there's not a lot of space in here to work. But this is our piece, and you can kind of see how it fits in there. Not too bad. Sorry if it's shaky, it's kind of a tight quarters down here, and anyway. That's what I'm dealing with. I had to space that out like I thought I was going to meet the taper there. So I have to weld those up. But I think that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna, while I've got that good of a fit going, I'm gonna go ahead and get the welder and tack it into place. Well, all right, I don't know if I ran out of time or patience yesterday, but I quit. So I came back at it this morning and went ahead and finished welded everything in there. And just for the record, I don't ever claim to be a good welder, but I do own 2 grinders. A wise man once said, you can hide a lot with a coat of black paint. Not that I'm trying to hide this repair, but I'm just trying to hide my ugly, I don't know, welds and whatnot with it. So I just sprayed a little bit of black paint on there to finish it up. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Now, you know, you roll this thing across the block at the, you know, the big auction. Yeah, man, this is not original. But for my little girl driving a car around, I'm going to be happy that the frame isn't rusted out, and I'm happy, confident that that's going to hold. So that's it for this project. In fact, you're probably going to see this one come out before I release the seat pan project, just because that's still a lot of editing I have to do. Anyway, hey, if you like these videos, you like seeing me take rusty metal, cut it out of a car, and put not rusty metal in, well, there's a lot more to go on this thing. So just hit the subscribe button down below and follow along. Thanks for watching this, and we'll see you next time.